जयो राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। जयो राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। जयो गोपी जनवल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। जयो गोपी जनवल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। यशोदानन्दन व्रजजनरञ्जन। यशोदानन्दन व्रजजनरञ्जन। यमुनातीरावनचारि। यमुनातीरावनचारि। जयो राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। जयो राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। जयो गोपी जनवल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। जयो गोपी जनवल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। यशोदानन्दन व्रजजनरञ्जन। यशोदानन्दन व्रजजनरञ्जन। यशोदानन्दन व्रजजनरञ्जन। हे यशोदानन्दन व्रजजनरञ्जन। यमुनातीरावनचारि। यमुनातीरावनचारि। जयो राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Jayo Radha Krishna Chandra Radha Krishna चंद्र राधे जयो निताय गौरंगा निताय गौरंगा निताय गौरंगा जयो निताय गौरंगा जयो जयो प्रभुपाद 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 जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य अष्टोत्र शत श्री श्रीमद डिवाइन ग्रेस अबाय चरण भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य अष्टोत्र शत श्री श्रीमद डिवाइन ग्रेस श्रील भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती ठाकुर गोस्वामी श्रील प्रभुपाद की ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय नारायणं नमस्कृत्यं नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरये नष्टप्रायेष्वभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तमश्लोके भक्तैर्भवति नैष्टिकी Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, 3rd canto, 16th chapter, text number 27. ब्रह्म उवाच अत ते मुनयो दृष्ट्वा नयनानन्दभाजनम् वैकुण्ठं तदधिष्ठानम् विकुण्ठं च स्वयं प्रभम् ब्रह्मोवाच अत ते मुनयो दृष्ट्वा नयनानन्दभाजनम् वैकुण्ठं तदधिष्ठानम् विकुण्ठं च स्वयं प्रभम् ब्रह्म उवाच अत ते मुनयो दृष्ट्वा नयनानन्दभाजनम् वैकुण्ठं तदधिष्ठानम् विकुण्ठं च स्वयं प्रभम् Word to word meaning. Brahma Uvacha. Lord Brahma said, Ata, now, te, those, Munayaha, sages, Drishtva, after seeing, Nayana, of the eyes, Ananda, pleasure, Bhajanam, producing, Vaikuntam, the Vaikunta planet, Tat, of him, Adhishtanam, the abode, Vikuntam, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Cha, and Swayam Prabham, self illuminating. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Translation. Lord Brahma said, after seeing the Lord of Vaikunta, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, in the self-illuminated Vaikunta planet, the sages left that transcendental abode. Please repeat the translation. Lord Brahma said, after seeing the Lord of Vaikunta, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, in the self-illuminated Vaikunta planet, the sages left that transcendental abode. Purport. The transcendental abode of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, as stated in Bhagavad Gita and confirmed in this verse, is self-illuminated. In Bhagavad Gita it is said, in the spiritual world there is no need of sun, moon or electricity. This indicates that all the planets there are self-illuminated, self-sufficient and independent. Everything there is complete. Lord Krishna says that once one goes to the Vaikunta planet, he never returns. The inhabitants of Vaikunta never return to the material world, but the incident of Jaya and Vijaya was a different case. They come to the material world for some time and then they return to Vaikunta. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purport. Om Ajnanatimirhandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shiva Sadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Brahma Uvacha Atate Munayo Drishtva Nayanananda Bhajanam Vaikuntam Tad Adhishtanam Vikuntam Cha Swayam Prabham. Lord Brahma said, after seeing the Lord of Vaikunta, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, in the self-illuminated Vaikunta planet, the sages left that transcendental abode. So in this verse, the sages, after meeting Lord Vishnu, are departing from the Vaikunta planet. And here it is mentioned that a description of Vaikunta is being given here, and that description is very, very unique, in the sense that here it is being said that the Vaikunta planet is self-illuminated. We have no experience of self-illumination. In this material world, we have not seen anything that is self-illuminating. If there is like the most costliest of the diamonds, I remember in my childhood they used to say, Tirupati Venkatachalapati, he has diamonds which will shine even in the dark. And that cost of the diamond is crores, and it was given by the kings Krishna Devaraya and those people. So you see, in our world, anything which has a capacity to bring in illumination, it is so rare, it is invaluable. And here it is being said, in the entire Vaikuntha planet, it was self-illuminated. Like for example, here, if there has to be light, then there has to be a source of that light. There cannot be light without another object producing that light. Right now it is day. Why it is day? Because sun has risen. Sun has come, that is why we are able to see there is prakash here. In the night, the sun goes to the different hemisphere of the earth, so it becomes dark. If you want this bulb, then there is a power generation which comes and the bulb emits that light. So we have an object to emit light. Now what here it is being mentioned is that no, Vaikuntha is self-illuminating. Same thing Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita also. Natat bhasayate suryo na shashanko na pavakaha yadgatva nanivartante taddama paramam mama. Krishna is saying, my abode is not illuminated by any other external source. Na shashanko na pavakaha. Neither by the sun nor the moon. It is self-illuminated. Natat bhasayate suryo na shashanka na pavakaha. Neither by the sun, Surya, nor by Shashi, the moon, nor by Pavaka, nor by any stars. It is completely self-illuminated. And yad gatva nanivartante taddama paramam mama. Krishna is saying that one who comes to my abode will not come back to this material world. So why is Krishna saying that? Krishna is actually giving us a clue. He is giving a clue to us. Very important point Krishna is making. First point, Krishna is saying, my abode is not illuminated by any other external object or source. Next, he is talking a different subject. In the other part of the shloka, he is saying, Yad gatva nanivartante taddama paramam mama. See, there is no real connection between one is talking about illumination and the next line, Krishna is talking about one who comes back to my abode will not come back to this abode. Why is Krishna talking like this? Because Krishna is talking very important aspect. If you see, the description of Atma, the description of the soul, is like a Jyoti. It's like a light. It is giving you light everywhere. Atma, if you see anywhere, spirituality is painted like a Jyoti. So it is actually, spirit is actually which is actually giving us light. And spirit is defined by eternality. Spirit is by nature eternal. So, Krishna, when he is telling that Natat bhasayate suryo na shashanko na pavakaha, he is saying my abode is actually completely spirit. Because his abode is spirit, that is why yad gatva na nivartante taddama paramam mama. Spirit is by nature eternal. Temporary has a beginning and an end. But spirit doesn't have a beginning and an end. So that is the connection Krishna is making between Natat bhasayato surya and yadgatva nanivartante taddamam. Krishna is referring to the spiritual nature of the Vaikuntha planet. It is spirit which actually is capable of giving you all energies, all Shakti is coming from spirit. There, this we can see. Sometimes we say this man is very strong. No. Every aspect of strength comes from the Atma, the spirit. It's like say you have a car and the car has many components. Supposing you get the best tire, and you fit it to your car. You get a very nice external body for the car, nice seats, everything. Everything looks very nice of that car. But if the engine is not working, or if the engine is very weak, then this very nice body and very nice tire and everything will be meaningless. Sometimes we think we need a strong body to do various activities. It's not necessarily true. Prabhupada didn't go to any gym. Prabhupada didn't do any Ramdev Baba Ulta Kasrat. Nothing. Right? How did Prabhupada, and Prabhupada used to work day and night. At the age of 70, 80 years, Prabhupada went to America. Then worldwide Prabhupada is left, right, traveling here, there, everywhere. For us, if we make one tour and come back, 3-4 days for us off to come back to our thing. And in spite of having all facilities, you travel nicely, everything you do, still your body cannot take it. Weather is new, water is new, your place is to adapt body to again set it back to the realm. And this personally I can say. Every time we go on a tour and come back, it takes so many days for us to settle down. And Prabhupada is constantly traveling at that advanced age. So actually it's not that the body of Prabhupada also had problems with body. Prabhupada was traveling, Prabhupada had a heart attack, Prabhupada had this, that, so many things. Body will give problems. That's the nature of matter. Material world, you will always have problems. Nobody can solve it. Even Prabhupada had problems. But in spite of that, Prabhupada could continue. Actually, that is the spiritual energy which is working. Say, even a very strong person, physically very strong, he will not be able to match Prabhupada's energy. You may be physically strong, but you cannot match physically. Like for example, Prabhupada has to travel physically. Prabhupada has to deliver lectures. Prabhupada has to do management. That means your mind, body, everything has to be in proper shape and form. Say if you are having fever, if you are having cold, if you are having this one, will you be able to even think properly? We cannot even think properly because we are so affected by our bodily condition. No, I don't feel like. If somebody calls us when we are sick, some official work, what do we tell them? No, I'll talk to you tomorrow. Yeah, please, today I am not able to think properly. We will not be able to think also properly. Say some immediate task is there at our hand, which is very important. And at that time, if you are very sick, you cannot think properly. Because you are so affected by your bodily condition. You need to be in proper shape and form to actually do work also. So you can see that how Srila Prabhupada's body was giving problems. You can see in that final lesson video. What a condition Prabhupada is. Prabhupada is nothing but skin and bones, that's all. No muscle at all is there in Prabhupada's body. Absolutely no muscle. And when Prabhupada was during that last stage, when Prabhupada was extremely sick, you can see from the Krishna Balaram temple, from his room, they are bringing him out and making him sit in that ambassador car. He is going to London. What a condition Prabhupada is. From Vrindavan to Delhi to airport, from Delhi he has to go to London. It's so unimaginable. Nobody will travel like that. Even when Prabhupada reached in London, the London devotees are commenting, we have never seen Prabhupada in this condition. Why did he come to London? Because he was driven by the preaching sense. He is driven by the spiritual purpose. The spirit is actually taking him out. Prabhupada says yogis can sustain themselves in just air. You don't need anything food. But of course you have to come to that level. You cannot imitate. So the point here is that ultimately it is the Atma, ultimately it is the spirit which is actually the powerhouse of all energies. Whatever energy is there, whatever energy is required, all energies are there within the Atma. Why we are not able to tap that energy? Because we are attached to this body, or we are not able to come out of this bodily conception. You cannot do it by force. Oh, now I will become spiritual. Now I will think spirit. I will take all the energy. It will not be possible. Naham indriyagrayam. Spirit cannot be forced by indriya. You cannot capture the spirit by your physical prowess. Sometimes we force ourselves, I'll do this, I'll do this. No, it's not possible like that. You will be able to do for some time. Initially you will try. Like Prabhupada, when he saw that some devotee, he started imitating Haridas Thakur in Vrindavan. He sat down and started chanting. Then Prabhupada says, this is not correct. You cannot imitate Haridas Thakur like this. It is not possible for us to do such kind of things. So Prabhupada told him that, but the Lord didn't listen. So he did for 15 days, 20 days. After that, he asked what happened. And that fellow went back to US. And what is he now? He is their hippie again back. Ganja phok raha hai. So you see, it is not possible for us to imitate like this. Because you cannot force yourself like this. How much degree we should force? Prabhupada has told us. We have to wake up early in the morning. That is a force. Either you like it or you don't like it. That much we have to do. Prabhu, you are only telling I should not force, so I will also not force. When I feel like getting up, I will get up. No. This much you have to do. From your side, this is the degree to which Prabhupada has said. That's how our Goswamis have given us our spiritual practice. What kind of food you should eat, what kind of eating, ahara, nidra, bhaya, maithuna, everything is there, but in a regulated way. In a regulated way, for a sadhaka, and then slowly, as we go on, we will start becoming more and more mature. Our standards of spiritual practice can be proportionately taken to different levels. We cannot imitate Mahabhagavatas and all those people. We should recognize our level and accordingly practice. The spiritual master said minimum at least 16 rounds you must chant. So we must adhere to that standard. So here that it is being said that Prabhupada in this purport is mentioning that Lord Krishna says that once one goes to that Vaikuntha planet, he never returns. The inhabitants of Vaikuntha never return to the material world. But the incident of Jaya and Vijaya was a different case. They came to the material world for some time and then they returned to Vaikuntha. It was Krishna's desire, it was the Lord's desire for them to come back. That's why they came here. Otherwise, no. Without the will of the Lord, a person who is in Vaikuntha cannot come. The Lord had some plan to enact a particular Leela. Because when the Lord enacts a Leela, that Leela gives great joy to his devotees. And the Lord selects his chosen members to participate in those Leelas. Either as a good person or as a bad person or whatever. So the Lord has chosen Jaya and Vijaya to be part of his team in his Leela. So actually they are very, very blessed. They are very blessed. Actually, modern scientists, they have to do research in this direction. They have to really do research in this direction, where it is being said self-illumination. We are always, in this material world, we are always looking at external objects to derive some benefit from that external world. People are looking for newer and newer ways to develop things. And so that those things will make our life better. Whereas our Vedic science is about looking inwards to make our life better. You are looking external. Okay, I don't have a car. Okay, let's get a car. Like man said, okay, when they invented the aeroplane, they said, if we make a machine, and that machine will be able to transport us from one place to another by air. So they invented a machine. Now in our Vedic ways, how did they travel? They also traveled. When any Muni or saint wants to travel, how do, like for example in all the movies and all those things we have seen, but it makes sense. What they show, how they show that when Muni says, okay, I am coming, what do? They go and sit in an aeroplane and they reach there, or in other what way they will travel? They close their eyes and meditate, or they chant some mantra. and Tum they are in Bombay. Tum they are in some other place. Actually, because they are internally wanting to go to that source of energy, and that source of energy will take them places. It's a different technology altogether. Whereas modern technology, they are always looking at something external. Okay, I have to fly. Aeroplane has to be done. They will develop an engine, will develop a body which is light. So many things like that. Man is always thinking in that direction. We should think internally. Prabhupada has said, okay, you want, how has Prabhupada explained to us, okay, if something is happening to you, what should you do? Prabhupada immediately said, you chant Hare Krishna nicely. Prabhupada doesn't say, oh, you do this thing, you do make like this, you make this arrangement. No. First stress Prabhupada says is what? You chant Hare Krishna nicely, everything will automatically happen. You do your sadhana nicely. You do your service nicely. That will bring the results. That will automatically bring the results. So look internally, look internally. You have disease, you chant Hare Krishna. For everything, Prabhupada says, spiritual solution. Nothing is happening. Continue to practice spirituality. Like recently, we had Advaita Acharya's appearance day. How did Advaita Acharya, when Advaita Acharya saw that in Kali Yuga people are going far away from devotional life, Advaita Acharya went to police station and gave a complaint or what? What did he do? Tulasi Kamala Dhala. He took Tulasi from the water and then started offering to the Saligrama Shila. He started worshipping. That Lord Chaitanya appeared because of Advaita Acharya's calling. Like in the Krishna book we read, when Bhumi was overburdened with the weight of sinful people, what did the demigods headed by Lord Brahma do? They went to the banks of the ocean of the milk ocean, and they prayed and they offered prayers to Lord Narayana to appear. They went to the Kshira ocean. You see, but because right now, why that is not producing results? Prabhu, if I do also it is not producing. Why it is not producing? Oh, you are telling these solutions. I am taken up chanting, I am doing all these things, but yet it is not producing the results. Whereas if I go to the doctor, if I go to the engineer, if I go to this, they are immediately giving me solution. Prabhupada used to give this example that in Russia, that's what they did, how the communism was propagated. Prabhupada says, in front of the church, Russians were very religious people. So Prabhupada says, the ordinary Russians, they used to go to the church every week, and then these communist people, they used to stand outside the church. In the church, they will go and pray to Lord Jesus Christ, please keep us well, give us our daily bread, give us this, that, all these kind of things. To Jesus they will ask. And when they come out, the communists would have tables like this, in where bread will be there. And they will, when the poor Russians would come out, these communist propagators, they would take the bread and they would give to them. And then they will ask, you went to the church? Yes. You went and prayed to the Jesus? You asked for bread? Yes. Did Jesus give you the bread? No. Come. Now you take this bread. Who gave you the bread? Communist party gave us the bread. So, Who is your savior? Communist Party is my savior. Finished. That fellow is converted there only. By logic and reason, rationality convinced him. You forget that. Actually, you see, we don't go. One of the things that we do, we should not do, is go in front of God and ask for something personal. God knows no. Prabhupada used to always give the example. There's the bird, there's the elephant, there's the tiger. Go to the temple and ask, Amma, dedo thoda khana pina. No. He doesn't ask like that. Prabhupada says, all the animals are provided. What they require, it is provided. You don't need to beg for that. The Lord automatically provides for everybody. In this world, when Krishna has made this, even this material world, the Lord has made it. And the Lord has put us here, which means this material world also is self-sufficient. Everything is there here. Provided you are responsible enough to get it. It is not for the external, it is for the internal. It is self-illuminated Vaikuntha planet. Everything is there. Knowledge is illumination. So, if our thinking is proper, and thinking is an outcome of the mind, mind is part of intelligence, and intelligence, higher than intelligence, is the soul. So if our soul is actually the controller, then we are directly in connection with the Supreme Personality. We'll stop here if there's any question, comments.
So I was thinking how these all the gates, 9 gates. So next thing is how the 9 gates are illuminated.
Yeah. See, we say Rishikena Rishikesha Sevanam Bhakti Ruchyate. All the senses, the purpose of the senses is to engage in the master of the senses. So when we are saying all the gates are illuminated, all the gates means what? It is also one kind of sense only. So illumination happens when senses are engaged in the service of the Lord of the senses. So these 9 gates as a material form, but the same material form can also have a spiritual form. If it is in proper direction. Just like, for example, it is mentioned that Rishabdev, when he passed stool, it was Sugandha. It was like sandalwood smell. In the Bhagavatam it is described. Rishabdev's stool was smelling like sandalwood. So you see, stool is a very, very, it is an excreta, one which has been eaten, all dirty things, malamutra it is. But an exalted person's stool also will become very, very nice. So a person possessing a material body can also become extremely spiritual. So whether it is 9 gates, which is a description of the material form, can also take a spiritual form, which is what that shloka is trying to tell. Is illuminated. These 9 gates will be illuminated with knowledge. Knowledge means what? Knowledge means you are situated in proper consciousness. Anything else? Yo anta pravishya mama vacham imam prasuptam. I'll be invigorated. That's a very that first verse of Dhruva Maharaj has been spoken about by Madhvacharya so much. If you see Madhva, like we say Nashtaprayeshva Bhadreshva, when before giving the class, we use this Nashtaprayeshva. In Madhva Sampradaya, they use Yo anta pravishya mama vacham. If you see any Madhva scholar, he is giving a lecture, they use this verse. Yo anta pravishya mama vacham imam prasuktam sanjeevayatya kila shakti darasvadamna anyam sacharana shravanatvagadin pranan namo bhagavate purushaya tubhyam. Pranan namo bhagavate purushaya tubhyam. It says, they are, like we say, let all my abhadras be removed by meditating on the verses of Srimad Bhagavatam. Like that, they say that they pray this verse. Of course, even in our Sampradaya, I have seen some, when some ISKCON Guru Maharaj and all, they used to come, they used to chant Yuvanta Pravishya Vacham. That's a prayer verse actually. Before giving the classes and all, we can use this Yuvanta Pravishya Vacham. Why? It's a very, very powerful verse, because you are saying that whatever I say, whatever I speak, let it all be coming from you, from the Lord. That let Lord inspire all my senses to get that spiritual energy to think and act and feel and will. See, when you are giving a class, ultimately that class should have that spiritual potency. If it doesn't have that spiritual potency, if it is just academic knowledge, it is not going to touch the heart of the people, nor are you going to make any difference. Ultimately, a spiritual, a Bhagavatam discourse or a Bhagavad Gita discourse has to have that spiritual potency. If it is not having the spiritual potency, it is meaningless. So, Dhruva Maharaj is actually praying, Yo hanta pravishtya mama vacham imam prasuptam. O my Lord, who is seated as Paramatma within my heart, please, he is praying, please you make mama vacham o vacham, my whatever I talk, Yo hanta pravishtya mama vacham imam prasuptam sanjeeva yat akila shakti darasvamna. You are akila shakti. So like that, he is going step by step, telling him that my bodily mind, body senses, let everything be revitalized, and this one by your energy and your potency. So what is that you wanted to ask?
In our case, like Guru Maharaj is meditating for attaining some material benefit, like you want to become king.
Who?
Guru Maharaj. And he saw the Lord, the Prasuni form, Prasuni Dharma. The Lord touched, then he's praying. After your touch, my all the senses got
Invigorated.
I got confused. Means I know the answer, but still more detail if you can explain. We also touch deity. We also touch holy name. In that case, Guru Maharaj was ready to take, or Lord only means he was not in the mood to take no devotee. He was in the material religion. It still has to the Lord touch the concept. He became so. When and we touch also the Lord like same, with the same form. So Lord should.
See, ultimately, we say spiritual progress, spiritual realization happens by vow, by the mercy of the Guru and Krishna. Guru Krishna Prasade Pai Bhakti Lata Beach. So actually, if you see, like you rightly said, with some material motivation, Guru Maharaj started spiritual practice. But it is by the mercy of Narada Muni and Vishnu that he got the highest perfection of life. So it is a mercy. So we also touch. We don't experience that kind of thing. What the deity is non-different from Vishnu. Because we have not been chosen for the mercy still. He was chosen. He has got that kripa. But we have also been chosen. Right? Like we are here, sitting here and hearing the Bhagavatam class, we are in the temple, we are chanting, reading, everything. Are we really qualified? If we look at ourselves, are we qualified? None of us have any qualification to practice spiritual life. They all come from material. So it is actually the Kripa Siddhi. Prabhupada has given mercy. Like we are seeing, like for example, I can see, when I see, say, my own family members, my brother, sister, cousin, everybody, sometimes I feel, hey, they were much nicer people. Why they are not able to get the mercy? No answer. Because ultimately our knowledge of things also as human beings is very limited, no? We are not Trikalagnyas. We do not know the past, present and future of our lives. The Lord is all-knowing. He is Trikalagnya. So He knows on whom to shower that kripa. In fact, if you take, the Lord does whatever He does in supreme knowledge. But like for example, Prabhupada, even he didn't make that distinction also. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, irrespective of your qualifications. Irrespective of your qualifications. They have bestowed Namo Mahavadanyaya, Krishna Prema. All fallen souls they have given Krishna Prema. That is the
The same case. So, I'm very wrong. We cannot make any formula for getting kripa. Like Guru Maharaj followed Narada Muni very sincerely. Whatever he very tough he did.
correct.
By which only he got mercy, or does there is no formula for getting?
There is both aspects to it. Like for example, one is he followed his Guru's order.
In his 6 months only.
Whatever, 6 months or whatever it is, he followed his Guru's order. He followed his Guru's order. Prabhupada says, I also followed my Guru's order. What is that? Prabhupada, how many times Prabhupada has said this? When people ask, what is the successful? I simply followed my Guru Maharaj's order. I did not add one bit here or one bit there. I simply repeated whatever my Guru Maharaj said. And whatever little success I have, that is the reason. See, actually we don't think properly, because in what we generally do is, in our lives, it's not like full surrender. No, we mix it with our own personal goals, aspirations, and desires. When we preach, we are looking at puja, pratishtha, labha. So many aspects are there. Sometimes we do things, but because we are not very sukshma in our thinking, we think I am also doing, why it's not coming? And we compare such exalted devotees like Dhruva to our context. No, you are not able to see things properly. Because like Rupa Goswami says in the Nectar of Instruction, that a Kanishta Adhikari, he doesn't have discrimination power. Discrimination ki, what I am doing, what his mind is very clogged. So in being in Kanishta stage, you cannot really have the discriminative power. ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की।